Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. Today's episode is actually going to be on the HK Match 45. I realize I actually never even covered the Match model on this show. So what I'm going to do is actually compare the Match to the other kind of standardized HK lines and explain the differences here. Those of you who watch who've been watching my show for the last couple of years, actually sorry about last week's episode, we didn't have one. If anyone who goes to www.civiliantacticalweapons.com read the posting I put up there last week that there was going to be a video. Mainly the air conditioner went out here at the studio, so pretty much no AC in a Texas summer is worse than any torture a terrorist might be complaining about at Gitmo or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and get into this episode here. Go ahead and talk a little bit about these. I'm going to compare these four guns. I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and show exactly. We're doing a gun check here. So he's looking down the slide, looking in the barrel, empty, empty, empty. The only reason why I'm doing this is some of you complained that I didn't show that right in the beginning of every video. So what I want to do is go ahead and explain these different models. The Match is actually the longest of the HK line as far as barrel length goes. The Match actually uses a barrel length about 6 inches. The slide and the rail system, the actual rail system on this gun is actually unusable because of the compensator that sits on the front of it. So as you can see, when this gun fires, the slide pulls away from the compensator. It's not all one piece, so that the weight stays at the front of the gun the whole time. This creates more weight in the front, so the pop-up associated with the 45 doesn't actually happen. If you are in the market for a Match, you need to make sure that the serial number on the slide, on the actual barrel, and then if you actually take the compensator off on the front, on the bottom here, which we'll do in a second, you'll actually have another serial number under there, so the frame, that all of those serial numbers match when you buy one of these. Sometimes they may not, and it may never been a true match. But so what we're going to do here is actually go ahead and talk about some of the benefits here. One, he has of course, the compensator, which helps reduce the recoil. It's got a much longer barrel, which is also used for increased accuracy. It's got the rear adjustable sights for both elevation and windage. That's very similar to what comes on the Expert Edition. The newer HKs, the HK 45s, and the regular USPs did not have adjustable sights, so that is the difference of the Match. You will see the Matches used as competition pistols. You may recognize these from the Tomb Raider movies. Angelina Jolie shot a pair of these, the Matches. So if you look at the way the Match is set up, they had the ones with the nickel plate. So this down here is a compact 45 in the nickel. They also make the Match in the nickel. The newer Matches are different than the original Matches, which I'm showing you here, and are actually in much less demand than the original Matches, which I still like these more than the new Matches. So if we go ahead and show you this, I'm going to go ahead and show you the differences in the barrels. The one thing on the Match that's different than any other HK is you do have to take off that compensator. So you will need to have some form of a toolkit to go ahead and remove the two bolts on the side. Which I just have the little HK Armorer's little toolkit field here. And then when you take those two screws off, this comes off as two pieces. You actually take this part off here on the side, and then you pull the compensator out through the front. And as you can see, when I take this compensator off, you can see how much longer the barrel is on the Match. I'll go ahead and close the Expert. You can see if I lay them on top of each other, there's a significant barrel still sticking out of the front of this one. And watch it take out the barrels themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and break these down. The Match breaks down the same as every other HK pistol, so there's absolutely no difference there. So we'll put that Match barrel there. The next one we're going to go ahead and break down is the Expert. one. The next one is the new HK 45s. And then we'll also show you a compact 45. So all four of these are 45 caliber pistols. I would say if there was one other possible, or a couple other HK 45s that would be added to this collection to have the complete collection, it would actually be the HK original USP, which its barrel is almost identical to the new HK 45, and then the Mark 23, which looks very similar to the Expert. So if we look at these are actually the four barrels. So as we compare, you can see the difference there between the bottom one is the Expert, the top one is the Match. The bottom one there is the HK 45 compared to the top one being the Match. And then showing you right there is the, this is at the bottom one's actually the compact versus the top one being the Match. So very different barrel lengths there. The HK Match barrel can actually fit into the Expert. However, the compensator, because of the way the top slides are, this is the top slide of the Match, and this is the top slide of the Expert. The Expert actually has a longer slide than the Match, which means the problem is this component here, the compensator, which lines up here with the Match, would actually have to go further back. So you cannot actually put the compensator on an Expert edition, but in theory you could go ahead and put the barrel on it. If you look at the ways the Expert and the Match are set up, they're pretty much nearly identical. But the main difference here being is the longer barrel on the Match and the compensators that sit on the Match. So the Match is designed for a competition 45 pistol. You could say the Expert's pretty much set up a similar way, but just at a cheaper price tag. Of course, most people will actually recognize the Match models for the Tomb Raider movies. If any of you watch any of the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies, she actually uses a pair of the Matches. The Matches also do come in the nickel. The nickel plated ones, which if you look at, which actually will look similar to my compact there, are about $400 more when you can find them. Keep in mind, any Match is extremely hard to find. If you want to use a reference point to show you what I'm referring to, go take a look on Gunbroker and see how many Matches you find available. You may find one or two at any given time. They're hard to find, and they're actually not sold too often. In fact, the original history of this particular Match was the only reason the original owner parted with them was he actually died and it was bought at an estate sale. So they're not guns that are very easy to come across. So if you can find one and you're really a serious HK fan, I would actually encourage you to get a Match. If you are just looking to be a casual shooter and you're not really into competition shooting, or a really major HK fan like me, this is probably not the pistol you want to invest in. The magazines for the Expert and the Match are completely interchangeable, just to give you that as a point of reference, which is kind of a rarity. Pretty much every HK is not compatible with every other HK part. So that being said, if you have any questions, please email me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com, and I hope to see you in a future episode. Thank you.